Hi, this is Osman. I am an energy healer, yoga meditation teacher, and an entrepreneur. Um, Welcome to my channel, yogawellness786.com is my website. You may visit it in order to contact me and get more information on all my services. And today I want to speak on a subject which is of massive interest, among the people interested in the ancient yogic sciences, and that's the subject of the third eye, right? And opening the third eye. So, firstly, I want to say that the yogic sciences is not a replacement for medical treatment. And yes, I'm an energy healer, and we assist in the recovery, of illnesses. But we work together with the medical field, together with doctors. All my patients are under medical supervision, and my treatment is complementary, not alternative treatment. Right? It's complementary means in addition to, right? So we add good lifestyle habits, good nutrition habits, exercise, sleep, hydration, as well as energy healing therapy, mindfulness, therapies and strategies, in order to assist your regular medical treatment or your balanced, wellness, right? So coming back to the topic on the third eye, the yogic sciences or yoga and meditation is designed, one of the effects of long-term practice and one of the major goals or goalposts once achieved, you've achieved a massive stage in your advancement of the yoga sciences, is the opening of the third eye. So there are many people who I see online, the third eye is open, right? And they are clairvoyants and they have clairaudience. And usually, most of the time, if not all of the time, they have been initiated by some spiritual master and who opened the third eye for them or gave them some form of spiritual initiation that fast tracked the opening of their third eye, right? And this is uh, what I found in most of the cases. And having seen their level of communication, because I understand what it is to have the third eye open, and I have experienced natural opening of the third eye, and it shut down just to give me an idea of what it is, so that, and I didn't want to forcefully have it open. I could have it forcefully open, right? But I wanted it to open completely at its correct maturation point and not prematurely open. So when that's open, the level of the cognitive processes, it is incomparable, and it's like almost impossible to explain to you the level and the speed with which you could think. And your knowledge, you start to gain knowledge of things that is not within the ambit of regular people, and you could see things and dimensions that are not within the ambit of regular people, because you can see multiple dimensions, right? And you can see things, entities, or living entities, that are not visible to the naked eye of regular people, because you are seeing through your third eye, right? To give you a brief explanation of what it is an eye, much similar to how your natural eye is in terms of being able to see. Yes, it can also see, but the difference is it can see 300. It is a singular eye, and it can see 360 degrees, and it can see any distance. It can see, you think of a place, you can see that place. You want to, maybe you are in Istanbul, I'm in Istanbul, and maybe you are in New York City, and you are in your apartment. I think of you, I can see you in your apartment right now. I'll be with the third eye open. It's possible to do that. So not only can I see in the current time, but also it transcends time, the confines of time. You can see what is coming, in the future and what has happened in the past. By just talking to someone, you know everything about their past and everything about their future, right? Not 100% everything, but you know a lot, right? So you can see past, present, future, 360 degrees, right? And any distance. And also um, the speed with which you can think. Let's compare that you are traveling by bicycle, right? And traveling with a Formula One vehicle, not a normal car, right? A Formula One, even your fastest German engineered vehicle, or whichever. Sorry if I'm offending people, by just pointing out a job, maybe American muscle, right? Or Italian, sports vehicle, or whichever is, you consider to be the fastest sports vehicle. There's nothing compared to a Formula One vehicle, right? So a McLaren, right? A McLaren is a sports vehicle, and a Ferrari. Ferrari costs around 200,000 US dollar. A McLaren costs around 2 million US dollar. Okay. When I first heard of the price of a McLaren, I wonder what's there in a McLaren. It's 10 times more expensive than a Ferrari. And who would go for a McLaren? Between a Ferrari and McLaren, what would you choose as an average? But you choose a Ferrari, of course. Ferrari is, more. It's got a bigger brand name, and it's got more popularity. It's considered, the number one vehicle, right? But McLaren is 10 times its price. What's the difference? It's the engine. It's the Formula One engine in it, right? So that's the rate at which once the third eye opens, that you could think when you are in that level. So this is the higher intelligence which is now dormant in average people. When that awakens, the denotes the complete maturation of the third eye. So having it forcefully open through spiritual initiation, yes, you gain a lot of the powers of the third eye, but premature, right? You're not yet ready for that level, and you're opening a level that you are not ready for in terms of a lot of foundational knowledge and experience that you need to have and close off. So you are not emotionally ready. You are not emotionally ready or mature for that level. So what happens is people who that I know, I'm in this field for decades, almost 5 decades, right? And I've being in that field and teaching the science and studying it scientifically or very in depth, right? From a very young age, I'm of course exposed to various spiritual masters whose third eye were opened, and they opened many people's third eyes. And I noticed that they were not emotionally ready or mature. There were a lot of experiences that they still wanted to have that you should have overcome when you reach the complete maturation of the third eye, right? So they still want to have, amazing, addictive foods and addictive substances. And you can't be in that stage. You're supposed to have outgrown all these things, right? You're still attracted to, the weaknesses of the flesh, so to speak, right? Which you should have transcended that, right? So when my third eye opened, I shut it immediately because I felt I'm not ready for it, right? I felt overwhelmed with it, and it was a very frightening experience in the beginning, of course, right? But I didn't want to have that type of, responsibility, and I felt I was not ready for it yet. And the third eye, of course, the visual aspect of it is only one part of it. There is also intuition that comes with it that needs to develop. And that intuition development must be in par with your emotional development, your emotional maturity, right? You should not be on the teenage level of emotional development, or you have to be well matured and well in control of your emotions, of your weaknesses, and your self-discipline, and growing naturally. So coming back to the two parts of third eye opening. The one is the natural way of having it open, and the other one is to jump into it by getting an initiation by spiritual and having it open, and keeping it open and doing practices to keep it open, right? So of course, it's your choice. Everyone is free to do as they wish, but I prefer the natural method and developing the body's energies so that you are ready for that energetic level, that frequency level, also in your physical body, that you can withstand that level of Kundalini energy that is required to power the complete activation naturally of the third eye, that energy level can be sustained in your physical body as well, because your physical body needs to also develop to be able to withstand that energy. So let me explain that a little bit more about the Kundalini energy. Kundalini energy means your life force energy, right? So everyone's alive, you means you have Kundalini energy, right? So it's not some fancy alternate spirit entity or a serpent that's in your body and it awakens and dances and you are worshipping this. No, it is your own life force energy. So everyone has got life force energy. So everyone's got Kundalini energy. If you're alive, Kundalini is alive. If you're not alive, you don't. The sign of life is Kundalini. So, but everyone in the natural condition, the Kundalini, you can say, is in power saver mode, right? It's just enough for life processes. It is not yet activated and developing. It stays in that even keel and it declines with age until your death, where it's very low and your body is very weak. It's proportionate to the weakness and the onset of illnesses. The more illnesses that you have, the lower is the ebbing away of your Kundalini or life force energy. When I do energy healing, I'm taking life force energy and transferring the buildup of my additional life force energy and sending it to that person so that he's able to recover easier, from his illnesses by increasing it. So by the practice of yoga sciences and the ancient Qigong sciences, martial arts, Tai Chi, meditation, mindfulness, yoga, breath work, all these is geared towards awakening your dormant levels of your life force energy to the active levels, where now you're going to start growing it level by level by level, incrementally. And initially you find that when it awakens, it is like a burst of energy that more than what your body can endure. The first time you experience it, and sometimes it bursts forth uncontrollably, that it will knock you unconscious, right? When you come to, the first time that I experienced it, I was speechless. I opened my mouth to speak. I could not speak. I could not enunciate any word for a couple of hours, right? Sitting dumbfounded in shock. My entire system was in shock at that level of that energy, right? It knocks you unconscious at times, collapsed. You cannot handle it. It is overload of massive electricity. It's like an electrical and also like bliss overload, love. Oh, the love is so much. You feel you love, love is such an amazing feeling. Feel it when it's overload beyond your body, it snap, right? So that's how high that energy level. So eventually you learn to control it in yoga sciences and develop it naturally, level by level, increment by increment. So eventually you learn to control it just beyond just slightly more than what the body could handle, and you feel it like overpowering you. And eventually the body gets used to it, and then it gets used to that level. Then you take it another increment up, and then it's like fully overloading your body, slightly more, not too much beyond, slightly more than what your body can handle. And then you feel okay, the body is used to it. Now you can go another level up and another level up and another level up. So I've been developing this energy in a controlled manner because I learned how to control it. Initially, I did not know how to control it. Whenever it came, it knocked me off my feet, right? Made me, speechless, and I couldn't handle it. And I didn't want to experience it because I couldn't handle it. And I felt like my life could not sustain in my body because my body could not handle that level of energy. But eventually I learned the secret of how to control it through yoga practice and kriya practices, right? And for the last 6 years, it's been growing incrementally. Initially, it was growing every month. Then it went every fortnight and every week. So I think easily hundreds of levels I went up, right? And the level I'm on at any given time is much higher than what I had been on just a couple of months ago, right? At any given point in my past 6 years, if you look at that point, and if you look at 2 months or more before that, I'm on a much higher level. And right now, if I look at the level I'm on now to about a month ago, much higher. Actually, today, the level I attained today, right, is much higher than what I was last week. And that level is so high, it becomes, you cannot endure it, that you can't do the complete exercise, right? Normally, I'm doing the exercise for, a certain period of time. I'm not going to mention the period of time and so forth, which is not important. And then I had to cut it down to 25%. And then slowly, as my body gets used to it, increase it, right? And yet the third eye is not completely open from its natural level, right? I'm not forcefully opening it. So when you forcefully opening it and keeping it open forcefully, you are on a level of knowledge and experiential level that you are not emotionally ready for, and you are not physically ready for, because you're going to meet certain entities, that are going to be so powerful. You're not going to have the power to be able to interact, right? Is the best word, to use, interact with them. And they're going to play with you, right? You're going to become a plaything. You can be overpowered by them, and you're going to be enamored by them as well, and distracted and, disillusioned by them. I met many people who have been disillusioned, by these and led astray, right? And when they were in the deathbed, when you're meeting death, the complete truth opens up to you. Your level of full truth, your awareness of what is truth becomes completely clear at the time of death. And then it's too late, and then you realize, oh no, oh, what have I been doing? I've been doing all these wrong things, and I've been doing, you're practicing magic, because you'll have the capacity to practice magic, right? And you've been practicing it in a way that is extremely harmful to your own soul, okay? You're playing games. Don't do it, right? My prescription from my advice is don't do it. I've met so many people whose third eye is completely open that came to me. My third eye is not completely open, right? I'm not using my I'm blind, and I'm not using, and I don't want to open my third eye. Not that I can open it like that, but if I really seriously want to have it open, I'll find a way to have it open, right? And I will not do it. I'll let it open naturally, right? So I've had people, a lot of people, who come to me for help. Their third eye is open. They come and they meet me, and they understand my level of knowledge and capacity to heal. And they are in problems, right? Spiritual problems. They are in a certain level that they are stuck. They don't know how to get out of that level, right? And so you're going to come across problems that you cannot handle because you are entering a level that you are not ready for, right? So don't do it. Do it the natural way. It will, don't be in a hurry to grow up, so to speak. When there's a child and the child wants to be an adult, say, no, enjoy your childhood. You're going to be, enjoy playing, the games that you enjoy playing, as a child. We encourage, and sometimes we look back at our own childhood, and we if we had a fulfilling childhood, you feel good. But some people had a dysfunctional childhood, and causing, problems in the psychological problems, right? From having a dysfunctional childhood, right? So like that, when you open your third eye prematurely, it is, so to speak, having a dysfunctional personal growth process. Because spirituality is evolution of yourself, emotionally, intellectually, and physically and physiologically as well, right? Your cognitive process, the way in which your brain can handle. So take it easy, right? Follow, people who helps you to nurture yourself, the natural way, right? And I am an advocate of that. Don't try to go ahead of yourself into something that you are not ready for, because there's going to be certain problems that are very serious and not something that you are ready for. Okay, and the novelty will wear off, and then you will be in a situation that you cannot reverse, because you may have made a contract with some powerful entity, and once you make that contract, there's no going back on it. There's nothing. You cannot. I promise you, you cannot go back on that type of thing. So that is all hocus pocus talk, and I don't like talking on that subject matter because it is not relevant to our day-to-day life, currently, right? In the sense of what we are, emotionally and energetically exposed to, and the dimensions that we are, our awareness is on. Let's live our life on our dimensions, right? And enjoy it to the fullest. And when we are ready, we will develop to the next level, and we'll be ready for that development. And don't jump the gun, right? And enjoy your life. Learn to enjoy, everything. Try to live in today. And if there are problems, try to find solutions for it. There are solutions, and people, connect with people, either online or even connect with me, and try to find solutions, to your problem, to find ways, because I'm here to help people to better experience their life, to experience happiness, joy, and a fulfilling life in whatever stage you are in, and to be at peace and happiness, and get the maximum out of your life, from experiencing only 1% of the potential to going up to over 80% of experience of your potential, right? Is what the ancient sciences and wellness therapies can bring about for you, and energy healing and so forth. So focus on enjoying your current state of life. Don't prematurely open your third eye. Don't try to have that experience prematurely. It's not. It's danger. It's something very dangerous, right? It is dangerous. Life. So there's some things which are life threatening. This is soul threatening. Means beyond your life, beyond your lifespan. It's going to carry some problems with you that you're gonna have to carry, right, with you. So don't do it, right? Take care.